Welcome to my channel. Today I want to give you some business advice, and you ask me why can I give you or what give me the competence of giving you advice about business. Number one, I used to work as a consultant in the Big Four. Two, I am a lawyer now. Three, I had my own business that I sold. Today I will give you the most important fundamentals of any business. Number one, you have to understand you are fighting against irrelevance. You are fighting against irrelevance. No one knows you. No one gives a fuck about your product or service. And the only way to make yourself known, because you can have the best product out there or the best service, whatever. But if people do not know that you are exist and that you can offer that service at that level, no one will buy from you, and then you will have like a bad time in business. And this is like the hardest part. You are fighting against irrelevancy, and it is your responsibility in the beginning as a business owner to find a way to make yourself relevant so people will have you in their mind. So I will give you an exercise. If I tell you now, for example, chocolate, what is the brand that comes automatically in your head? Because every brand takes like some headspace. If I tell you, for example, chocolate, what comes to my mind is Monarch, because I live, for example, in Austria, so it's like very common. Or milk, for example. If I tell you a beverage, I get like Cola Zero in my head. This is why marketing is very important nowadays, because these companies are spending millions to get or buy that headspace. When you think about beverage, I go for everywhere I go. I used to live in the Middle East. I am now in Europe. Every fucking where I go, if I think about beverage, I go think automatically about Cola Zero, and I try to find it. Same with business. If people know you, even if you have not the best product, they will buy from you. This is like as simple as it gets. Number two, when you start a new business, people will not give a flying fuck about you and your needs. Because trust me, when I started my own company, I thought I had friends and I asked them to write reviews, for example, or follow my page so I can run ads and it doesn't look that empty. No one did anything. And this is like the harsh reality. You have to provide value in order for people to follow you or want to buy from you. And this is like even like the closest friend you have. Trust me, you will be disappointed and you will get fucked as a business owner. Because every day you only have one responsibility, which is making your business grow and don't lose money. But other people don't see it this way. And I can tell you, for example, when I started my job board, for example, before I sold it, I was like, I ran ads before I started the company for 3-4 months, and I had like a list of cold leads. So, and I used to call them every day, one by one. No one was answering. Some answer, some say, yeah, wonderful product, but I'm not interested. And mind you, I was like offering that service for €0, nothing. The only thing I was interested in at that point is just like collecting testimonials. So other people can look at my page and say, okay, he worked with that company. I know that CEO and he's doing a great work. But even that was like very hard. And it took me 2 or 3 months to get my first partnership, which is I signed an NDA, but it's like one of the biggest companies in recruiting. And they offered me to post their shops on my site, and they were paying me money. And this is like where my company started to growing, and I could like hire my first employee and so on, or run marketing to a higher degree that I was like doing. And number three, which is like one of the most important things, when you hire your first employee, it's going to be very hard because you are a generalist in the beginning. You are doing everything. So you're doing marketing, own service. I don't know how to say it on English. Just look it up. That stuff is like very hard. So the first hire you are going to have, he needs or she needs to be an all-rounder like you. So they need to help you with marketing, with like cold calling, with everything. You can't hire like a specific role. In the beginning, you have to hire someone who is willing to do everything with you and growing. And you have to understand in the beginning, people will, as a startup, people will be a bit concerned about their future with you and with your company, because people do not know you or do not know the value of your company, or it's like taking a risk. People don't like taking risks, because are you willing to waste like 1 to 3 years in a small startup and maybe it fails or maybe it succeeds? So it's like a gamble at this point. So you have to understand it's normal. Everyone goes through it. Just live with it. And my last advice for you is like about time. So the time it needs, it's like a shift in your mindset, because you have to understand, as a business owner, the time that flies is different from a normal employee. So usually people work for 30 days and get a salary at the end of the month or the beginning of a new month. You as a business owner will get shit, and you have to live with this knowledge that maybe you will work for 1 year, 2, 3 years, and you get nothing. In my case, for example, I get nothing. I only paid myself 1,000 euros a month, so I don't have to pay taxes. And then I waited 3 years and I got just like 1,000 euros. You have to imagine I lived on 1,000 euros for 3 years. And then I sold the company for a huge amount. But in that period of time, I was like, my thought process was like, I rather spend that money on ads, for example, or hiring a competent person instead of taking that money. And for 3 years, you have to imagine, I had to live with my parents. I had to eat like the worst food possible. I couldn't go out with my friends. I didn't go to any on vacation or anything. I was like just going to the gym, then working all day, go to sleep, repeat 7 days a week. And this is like the harsh reality. You can do all of that and still make no money and get no success. And it's like, I consider myself lucky because I used to work in consulting, for example, or I am a lawyer, so I could like save myself a lot of cost, for example, on marketing or on the legal stuff. But in general, it's like a very risky business, or being your own boss, because you need to have the discipline to you need to have your discipline very high, because no one is going to look for you and no one is going to look after you. You do everything for yourself. And if you get sick, for example, no one is coming and doing the same work for you, or you are not going to you are not getting paid at that day. So this is like my experience with having a business. So I hope this helps you. Write me if you have any questions. I'm gladly willing to answer any of them. So have a wonderful day.